The Palestinian resistance is the only legitimate phenomena on the Palestinian question. Any other things is actually questionable. But when it comes to resistance, the Palestinian people should stick to resistance, because this is the only way for them to impose their respect and to reach their goals. So they tried the so-called peace process. They tried to insist on the international legality, United Nations resolutions. They were begging everybody in order to have some of their rights. They made a lot of concessions. They conceded 78% of the historic Palestine, hoping to have a state on 22%, but the outcome was a huge disappointment. So now we should go back to the square one. Square one means resistance, and the Palestinians should resist the occupations. They should actually fight for their cause, otherwise they wouldn't actually reach any of their hopes.
How are they militarily resisting?
It is unfortunately the Palestinian resistance are not enjoying the support of the Arab countries or the international community. Every other resistance used to be helped in a way or another by its neighbors who believe in its legitimate rights. But when it comes to the Palestinian resistance, especially in the last 10 or 20 years, you can see there is a deliberate move from the Arab governments, from the international community, to drain the line of supply, to prevent them from acquiring the proper weapons so they can actually practice their resistance in a very effective way. We can see now the whole international community exerting pressure on Egypt and other Arab countries to cut the supply line, financial lines, to besiege the Palestinian people, especially in Gaza, where the hotbed of the Palestinian resistance. And also they are concentrating on the tunnels underneath the Rafah border with Egypt in order to prevent any weapons smuggled to the resistance. They want the Palestinian people not to resist at all. They want the Palestinian people to be starved to death in order that they may revolt against the resistance and flush them out of Gaza Strip. It didn't work despite 2 years of blockades, of cutting everything, shortage of food, of fuel, of electricity, of water, of spare parts of shoes, of clothes, everything. Despite that, the Palestinian people in Gaza actually rallied behind the resistance, supporting them and sticking to them. Now they made the tunnels as the biggest issue, as if it is the Second World War, and they are doing everything in order to destroy these tunnels. Egypt sending envoys to the border with Mexico, United States and the Mexican borders in order to learn the experience of the American government how to destroy these tunnels. America is signing a treaty with Israel in order to actually concentrate on inspecting and preventing any weapons from reaching Gaza border. The Israelis are controlling the air and the sea and the border crossing of Gaza to prevent any weapons or any food even to reach Gaza. So it is actually a huge disappointment and disappointing at the same time, because those people are not smuggling or smugglers like the Mexican one. Those people in Mexico, they would like to smuggle for trading, for profits, for benefits. But those people in Gaza border, actually, they are not smuggling drugs or heroin, or they are smuggling foods and shoes and clothes and weapons. And why not? They want the Israeli to slaughter them without being able to defend themselves. And this is very cruel and very inhuman. The question is why the Palestinian people are turning to these tunnels. Simply because of the blockade, because the border crossing are closed. If you open the border crossing, there is no need for these tunnels. When the border crossing were open like normal countries, we never heard of these tunnels at all. But once you starve people to death, what do you expect them to do? They have to turn to any means in order to find foods, to find clothes, to find fuel, to find gas, to find, the basic things for a human being. And that's what's happening. So I believe once you open the border crossing, I think these tunnels will disappear. And even if there are arms smuggled through these tunnels, why not? They shouldn't actually, the arms shouldn't go through the tunnels. I think should go through border crossing, because those people are defending their rights, they are defending their countries, because they are subject to Israeli attacks. And we witnessed what happened recently in Gaza. About 1,300 people were massacred, most of them children and women. And also a house in every 6 houses was bombed by the Israeli and destroyed. We have about 60,000 people homeless. So what do you want the people there just to eat and sleep and breed and have children and to forget about their cause? The Gazan people, for example, 85% of them are from the villages, 500 villages which ethnic cleansed by the Israeli occupation in 1948. Those people are refugees and living in a very miserable camps there. So you cannot keep them like that forever. They are seeking for their rights, especially all the peace efforts actually collapsed. The peace process collapsed. So what do you expect them to do? To wait in these camps and to rot in these camps forever? What amazed me, the American government sent expert officers who are specialized in these tunnels to inspect them and to give advice to the Egyptian government how to destroy them, how to spot them. And even the American administration supplied the Egyptian government with a lot of equipment, highly advanced technology in order to detect and to destroy these kind of tunnels. It seems the Americans are participating on suffocating the Palestinian people. And what amazed me, okay, they are looking for these tunnels, but they are not giving solutions to the Palestinian people. I don't mind if they actually destroy these tunnels and say to the Palestinian people, you have other alternatives. You have peace process which is working. You have Israeli who are disciplined, who are actually respecting the international legality. Okay, but to concentrate on the tunnels and to keep the blockade in the same time against the Palestinian people, 1.5 million people suffocated and starved to death in Gaza, I think this is inhuman. And I'm surprised why America, the leader of the free world, is participating in this tragedy, starving people to death and keeping the blockade as it is, even tightening it up.
Let's be realistic. The U.S. is not going to allow Palestinians to have their freedom and rights. How are they now resisting? What's going on?
The Palestinian people will continue this resistance because they stayed in their camps in peaceful terms from 1948 until 1967. What happened? Nothing. They were actually living on, or begging, the United Nations for some foods, little rice, little corn, little oil, and they stayed there hoping that the United Nations, the international legality, will take them back to their villages and to their towns and as they used to live. Nothing happened. So they turned to resistance. Whatever happened, the Palestinians will continue resistance. Maybe, in certain stage they may have a truce in order to survive, in order to feed their children, in order to send them to school, to rebuild their houses, which were destroyed by the Israelis. But they will continue resistance as long as they are still in the refugee camps. They are still deprived of their basic rights of independent Palestinian state. So what else can they do? Waiting for the Israeli to massacre them? The Israeli enjoying the swimming pools, enjoying the fertilized land, enjoy the beaches, enjoy the sun, enjoying the luxury life, and the Palestinians rotting in the camps. What kind of justice is this? So they are entitled to continue resistance. Okay, maybe the balance of power is in the Israeli favor. Okay, but this balance actually, it wouldn't continue forever.